All right, hey, Fat Libertarian here. I just wanted to give I guess it would be my kind of response to this woman on Fox News. Now, of course, it's a Fox News question, so it's going to be hostile towards Ron Paul. Just accept that and just deal with it. But what I wanted to do is try to contrast my response a little bit with what the campaign, in this case Jack Hunter, came up with. I was really kind of disappointed, to be honest. I really like Jack Hunter. I don't know, maybe he's better in radio. I know I would, but let me just go ahead and play this here.
Good to be with you. Well, of course, when you're on top, all people are gunning for you. And one of the things that Congressman Paul's critics are claiming that he has really weak foreign policy issues and a very almost dangerous take on how to handle those situations. Wendell Goler just reported, as you know, there is a tenuous situation happening right now with Iran where Ahmadinejad is basically threatening to strangle the Strait of Hormuz, basically blocking the passageway to 20% of the world's oil supplies. And he's saying, look, Washington, you put more sanctions on our oil production, or our oil exports, I should say, and this is what's going to happen. So I ask you, if Congressman Paul were president today, how would he handle that?
Well, why is Iran threatening to shut off the Straits of Hormuz? Because of people like Romney, Gingrich, Santorum, Bachmann, Obama. They wanted us to put sanctions on them, which has now led us to this current potential conflict, which further proves how dangerous their foreign policy is when contrasted with Paul's. So a lot of the, quote, dangers that exist in that region are usually the result of following the foreign policy of Paul's opponents, which includes the President of the United States. So all of these problems they keep pointing out, what about North Korea? What about Iran? None of their policies are going to fix it outside of war. And so war is supposed to be the last resort and what we should avoid at all costs. And when I say costs, I mean costs, because we can't afford any more war. And so part of our security is our economic status. And it doesn't take much to look at our debt to realize we've got some problems when it comes to spending. So people looking at Paul's foreign policy in contrast with the other people, look at all the problems we have around the world. Look at the instability in the Middle East and understand that the reason that instability is there is because of our interventions into those regions. See, it's opposite than the way they think it is. Because they don't want to have to take the time to examine our own choices and our own foreign policy, because then they might be blaming America first or something. So I think we need to look at our policies that we've had in place and look at the results of them. Now, we have results of my opponents, or President Paul's opponents. We have the results to see of their positions. We can see the results of their foreign interventions. My policies, or President Paul's policies that I agree with, have not been in place for many years. Okay, so now that's just generally an example of what I would try to do. Turn around on them, position them. Don't even talk so much about the threat as it exists, but talk about why that threat exists. What or who is motivating that threat to exist? What is motivating Iran to seek a nuke? It's the interventionist foreign policy of my opponents. What is motivating acts of terror against the United States? The interventionist foreign policy of my opponents and the President of the United States. Why are we collapsing as a nation? Because of welfare and warfare. I mean, just keep attacking this stuff and turning it around on them, and I'm running out of time. I'll have 40 seconds left in this video. I'll put a linkage below to this video so you can see how Jack responds. Me personally, I just wasn't impressed. I was disappointed. But the truth is, I've never really heard anyone articulate Paul's foreign policy very well, to be completely honest. Not even Paul explains it that well. I mean, I think they need to, work it out a little bit to where it has more substance to it, and we turn it around on him especially. That's absolutely key. See ya.